Hey, how you doing everybody, and welcome to my follow 4 video. On this video we're going to talk about the settlement of Abernathy Farm. Okay, so I just want to make a couple of disclaimers before I start talking about the video. Number one, probably this video is going to be kind of long, and sorry about that, but I did a massive construction over here, so there's a lot of stuff to talk about, there's a lot of stuff to show, so my apologies about that. And yeah, the video is going to be very chatty because I just want to describe the stuff that I'm showing you guys, and that way you guys understand the purpose of every single thing that I put together and built over here in the settlement. Another thing that I want to add about that is that this settlement, there's no mods, and this version of Fallout 4 is a PC version, Windows 11 PC version, okay, of Fallout 4. I got all the DLCs, including the CC update that we got around the time when the Fallout show came out. So yeah, all the stuff that I built here, I use all the stuff that came with the DLCs, including the stuff that came with the CC update. Okay, so let's proceed to talk about the Abernathy Farm settlement. So as you guys know, most of the people that build stuff in the Abernathy settlement most of the times are tall structures, because this is one of the two places where you can build really tall. The other place would be Nuka World, Red Rocket. Okay, so as you can see, I'm in a platform, and behind you can see on the background you can see Concord, and you look on this side over here you can see Sanctuary, Red Rocket, and when you look at this area over here you can see the next pylon, and you can see the ruins of downtown Boston. Okay, so this platform is something that I built that I haven't seen that many people doing, but unfortunately, even for the purpose that I built it, it doesn't work. And because I guess it's too high off the ground, that's why it doesn't work. But I saw the people that built this same platform, and it does work when it's closer to the ground. And what I'm talking about is a helipad. Okay, so the reason I put this helipad so high off the ground is because to make it more realistic, in the sense of having something that, well, the vertibird comes to land and pick you up or drop you off, it will clear these cables. Now, of course, based on the game mechanics, the vertibird is going to go to solid objects, just like if the freaking thing was a ghost. But yeah, I said, what, let me just do it like this. But guess what? When I throw a flare over here to request a vertibird, it never shows up unless I throw the flare on the ground or close to the ground. And at the same time, if I take a vertibird somewhere else, in some other settlement or somewhere else in the Commonwealth, I fly over here, it's gonna come over here because I got this carpet, which is the carpet I use for fast travel. So the vertibird is supposed to also land over here, but unfortunately the vertibird is not going to do that. The vertibird is just going to go through this solid platform, and it's going to drop me all the way down on the ground. So it's going to do the ghost thing. It's going to go through solid objects. It's going to drop me on the ground. So it sucks that it doesn't work, but still it looks cool, and it's going to stay here. As you can see, I put these red lights, and I put the strobe lights that you see on tall structures like building antennas, stuff like that, to warn real life aircrafts, like any real life structure, so just to give it more realism. So this is the building that I built. Now when you look, it looks like it doesn't look architecturally, like I would say, like awesome. I saw people that build things way nicer than this in Abernathy Farm, but as you can see through the window, there's no furniture or any of that stuff there, because the only thing you see is crops. And you look all the way down there, you can see like a Brahmin feet. It's because this building is nothing more than a big farm, a big giant greenhouse. So we keep all the crops over here, and at the same time, one thing that I want to add is all the crops, they are managed by robots. I don't have people working inside. The only living thing that we got inside this building is Brahmin in the first floor, and a few cats just walking around taking care of mice, and that's it. I don't have nothing else alive inside this building over here, because it was meant to be just a giant glorified greenhouse. But it built it kind of the same way what's in an office building will be built. And one other thing that you guys gonna notice if you take a close attention is that the pylon they supposed to be here, you cannot see it because inside the building. That's another thing that I notice about people that build, these tall buildings, these beautiful buildings over here in Abernathy Farm, is that they build awesome, buildings, but they don't do anything to cover, the eyesore that it is, the power line pylon. Now the only problem with the pylon is that it's not kind of center. It's a little bit more like, from my perspective, from where I'm at, it's a little bit more towards the right than the left. So it's just sticking out a little bit on the right side of the building, and that's unfortunate. But that's the deal with this settlement. Okay, so this area where I was right now, this is like beside this thing being landing pad, is also like a watchtower at the same time. So these barricades over here, sometimes I got guards or robots, working as guards. They stand here looking, at the distance, watching for, if there's enemies, coming our way. Okay, so let's get out of here. This area over here, as you can see, you see that floor that's still very high off the ground. And the reason for that is because beside having a tall building, high rise, and a landing pad, I also have a vault inside, the settlement, and the vault is right under. You see the basketball court down there? It's right under the basketball court under that floor. Okay, so all the people that live in this settlement, they all live inside that vault. Nobody lives in anywhere else but the vault. Okay, we got some businesses inside the vault, and we got other businesses that they are outside the vault, because the vault, I build it only for residents or for other vault dwellers that they come to Abernathy to do business, and the outside businesses is for everybody else. Okay, so we got segregated the way we provide services over here, since in our opinion, people that live in the vaults, they are like kind of vetted to go to inside the vault, because that's where we keep our weapons and our technologies and all this stuff. So we don't let anybody from the wasteland to come inside the vault. They're allowed to come in and visit and do business over here in Abernathy Farm, but they have to do it outside, on the outside business. So we got facilities for them. For example, if we walk on this area over here, we got this thing that's kind of like a flea market, as you can see, and we got some stores. Now it's still early, so we don't have nobody tending the stores right now, but we do have, oh look, we got one, taking care of the, clothing store. So we got, a weapons store, a clothing store, and we got also, a general store. Also, this is the area where we, process, all the junk that the scavengers find in and outside the settlement. And this is the area where we get the probationers to come and do business with the locals and so on. So I mean, sometimes we got Lucas, we got Cricket, we got Carla. They got their Grammys, hanging around over here, and you see them, sitting here. Sometimes you see them, eating, with this, cooking stations over here. So this whole place is a market, and the name of this market, because I'm going to open more of these markets in my other settlements, is the Nuclear Exchange. Because we do exchange stuff over here. We exchange good, but we name it the Nuclear Exchange because, as you know, on the Fallout lore, everything got something to do with radiation or uranium or the nuclear bomb, the atom bomb. When you listen to the Diamond City radio station, everything that you hear, all the songs got anything to do with that. Because this is an alternative story of the United States. The whole civilization, pretty much everything's wrong with nuclear power. So, but the Nuclear Exchange is actually the name of the technical name that you will call a nuclear war, because countries are exchanging, nuclear bombs, destroying each other. So that's the name of this. This is exchange, but this exchange is good of goods. Okay. The other franchise that I'm gonna spread throughout the whole Commonwealth is gonna be where the Abernathy's used to live, because they no longer live in what's the name, in this house over here. This is now a restaurant slash a mini hotel. So it's named the Taste of the Wasteland. This thing was inspired by a real restaurant in Terrytown, New York. They named the Taste of China. So I said, okay, let's call it the Taste of Wasteland. Now the difference between this restaurant and the one that I have inside the vault is that the one inside the vault we sell cuisine. They sold it for vault dwellers, pre-war cuisine. Now the cuisine that we serve here is basically, for people that live in the wasteland. They used to eat the same creatures that I try to eat them. Like dead claws, these giant insects, all the stuff that I try to kill them. Well, if they get lucky and they kill those, then they get to eat those. So it's eating or eat or get eaten. Okay, so you see the heads of these creatures over here. So yeah, it's a decoration, but guess what? It's something else. It's the menu. So we are letting people know, yeah, this is what's for eat. Over here, these creatures over here. Okay, so these are the menu board, because many of these people don't know how to write and read, but by seeing that they know, okay, we got like a Myler, salad. We got Rastak steaks. We got a deck claw sandwich. We got a Jaguar, soup. So that's the kind of stuff that we sell over here. Okay, and the one that handles the store is Lucy Abernathy. Okay, so now let's go outside. Yeah, this Assaultron, that's what's the name? Ada, that's my companion. Okay, so we're gonna show you a couple things before we get into the vault, and the building is gonna be the last stop. So this area over here, this is where we keep, the auxiliary generator, and the reason I call it the auxiliary generator is because inside the vault we got the giant generator, the reactor, the one that's capable to generate 500 units of electricity, but this one's the auxiliary one. Now this settlement used to be smaller. I used to have a smaller building over here. It was like a 4-story building that housed all the beds and all the other facilities, because I didn't have that much back then. But then when I was inspired to build this, and I started to erase the old stuff to build the new one, I was about to erase this generator, because I was about to build the big one, the reactor, replace it with a reactor. But I said, you know what, they just keep it, and what I'm going to do with the generator is that now it's going to be auxiliary generator. So I keep it over here together with water purifying, water pumps that we got here. Now, as you can see, this place used to be, the potatoes that came with the sediment, the potato trees, but I don't know. There was one tap that they got destroyed. I couldn't repair, and they look like an eyesore. So that's why in some areas over here you see that I built around them just to cover them a little bit. But yeah, since there was no purpose to this land over here, in any other land in the surface of the sediment, that's why I built all the stuff on top of that, because we don't do farming on the surface anymore. All the farming is done in the building. Okay. Now let's walk to this area. So because I forgot to show the shop upstairs that is under the landing pad platform. So this area over here, this is where we got the main shop. This is where we do maintenance, for robots, power armor, weapons, and all the stuff. And all the stuff that the settlement needs to be repaired or maintained or modified, we do all that over here. So we got all kinds of tools. We got all kinds of workbenches, so every type and style. And we provide services on power armor from, all the different types and styles. Now, this power armor belongs to the settlement, and the reason they got the Voltec colors is because, as you can see, because we got a vault over here, is because this property, even if it's always been a farm, is being run by Voltec. Now that's a lore that I'm inventing myself in my version of the game. Okay, of course, in the real life in this game, this is just a freaking post-apocalyptic farm. Okay, So let's go to this area over here. So there's two ways to access, the ground level. So one of the ways is taking this elevator over here, or you can take the stairs over here that we connect to all those stairs down there, and you will be able to access the ground level. Now, in the case of the building, the ways that you can access the inside of the building is either through that elevator over there, or you can take, the stairs to this area over here and this mini sky bridge that I got over here, and that's how you accomplish to go to. Not accomplish, but that's how you manage to get inside the building. Now, as you can see on every corner of the perimeter of the whole property, you can see that I got, point defenses in each area, and I got, this spotlights, and I got these, sentry boxes as well. And beside that, I got also the barricades, military barricades over here. So the soldiers that I got, not soldiers, but the guards that I have, taking care of security and in the whole settlement, they are either, humans, dressed just like me, with, the military uniform, or they are robots like assaultrons, or mixed handies, but with the hydraulic, armor, guarding, the whole settlement. Okay. Now, as you can see, these conduits, they are designed to provide power to not to the whole second section over here of the settlement, because this thing got, a separate circuit. As you can see, the light poles over here, but this circuit is only to power, this point defenses and the spotlights. Now, you guys know that there's a glitch with the spotlights. Like, let's say you leave the settlement, and then when you come back, they stop working. Yeah, in the case of these ones, they keep, moving from left to right, but they are not lighting up anything. They are not illuminating anything, and that's the problem with that. You can see this area here is a basketball court. I tried to make it as realistic as possible. It looks really cool. That it even got his own wooden ground. We got some, benches over here for people to watch, the locals, playing game. And there's plenty of basketballs, over the place over here. Okay. So let's get out of here. We're going to go to the other area of the wall. As you can see, some of the citizens over here, the civilians, they are dressed just like vault dwellers. Some of the people that work outside, they dress with jeans and a white shirt, and the people that work inside the settlement, they are dressed in vault clothing. This is one of my guard robots, which is as you can see, is a Sultron, just like Ada. And look, Ada's right here. So you can see I built this wall with the different kind of floor foundations, that the one they use for the warehouses or the barns, and I managed to stack in one on top of the other, the same way people they stack the smaller foundation floors. Like, you see the ones that I got on the top over there, that's the regular foundation floors. That's the one that you use when you build the concrete buildings. These ones, like I said, is for the barns and the warehouses. And the way you stack these ones, like those ones, you can stack them with like a stairs, and a wooden stair. They got 2 floors. So this one you can stack them with elevators, because the elevators, they are higher, so it allows you to stack in at the right height. You can see the elevator next to the wall, but then you see that everything line up perfectly. Okay, and that's how I managed to stack all these floor foundations that now they are acting like walls or columns. Okay, so let's go outside over here so you guys can see how the settlement looks like from here. Now, one thing that you're gonna see is, like, sometimes I got problems when I show too much of the settlement. It's too much for the computer. I mean, a computer is a pretty nice, powerful computer. It's AMD 5900X, 12 core processor with 64 gigabytes, 3200 megahertz RAM, and 6900 XT video card. But still, apparently, it's too much what I built over here. The computer sometimes a struggle. As you can see, the frame rates are a little bit low. Oh, this is the part I was telling you about the power line, pylon sticking out a little bit on the side, and you see that there's some windows missing on the side over there, and the reason is that it's some kind of like invisible fill that in certain areas near the arms of the pylon it doesn't let you build anything. So that's why there's nothing over there, and there's nothing I can do about that, but still the building still look cool. Okay, you can see this is the area that house the vault, and as you guys know, the vaults, they tend to be like widespread and everything. Now the vault that I be over here is very compact and everything's close. There's no like extreme long hallways or any of that stuff, but it's well equipped just like any other vault. All the stuff that normally you see in any other vault, you're gonna see on this vault over here, but it's gonna be smaller. It's gonna be on a small scale. Now it's 4 levels on the vault. Like this top floor foundations that you see here is basically the roof of the vault, and this 4 levels over here is basically of wall. This is where behind I got 4 levels of the vault that I built. Now the nice thing about these 4 foundations that I pick is that they are the same height as the vault itself, so everything matched perfectly. Okay, and then you don't have problems putting the parts adjacent to the wall. Now this additional level that you see over here, there's nothing built down here except for the platforms that hold the pieces of the vault. Okay, so this area over here is where I catch the animals that live in the settlement. So we got over here a trap for Brahmins, and we got over here one for cats and one for ducks. And so I have to build this little platform over here because the terrain over here is a little bit uneven, so that way I can manage to have all these traps level. Now this thing is kinda in the edge because I'm gonna go to a workshop mode, and you can see like everything that I built here was kinda in the edge. Like if it wasn't for this, it wouldn't fit. Now one thing that you guys gonna notice is that I managed to line up this settlement perfectly, because you can see there's like a yard or a meter of distance over here, but down here it's a little bit more. I would say it's close to like from the edge, like maybe 2 meters or 2 yards. So I mean, it's good. I mean, I don't know. This thing was almost by accident that I managed to line up all this stuff the way I did. So you can see I got some power cable nodes in the walls that go all the way up to the top, and there's like a pole over the power pole over there that sends power to the switches that are connected to the traps. Okay, so from this corner over here, you can see that the images is getting issues with rendering, because like I said, it's so much stuff that was built over here that the processor struggle, and then the rain doesn't make things easier. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, let's talk about the gates that I built here. So this is the typical warehouse gates that you build, garage gates. Repair shop, gates, I would say more. So everything's connected to these switches over here on its own circuit. And when you turn this thing off, it not only closes the double gate, so you get double protection at the entrance, but at the same time, it turns off, the turrets, the shotgun turrets, as you're gonna see. Okay. Now, when you want to open, you see that green light over there is gonna turn on. The open sign on the other side is going to start lighting up, and the turrets are going to start working again. Okay, now you see that the spotlights that are not working. So as I explained before, I got a separate circuit for the spotlights. So it's this switch over here. So I'm going to turn it off, and when I turn it on, now all the spotlights, they're going to be working, and they're going to be illuminating, as you can see. Yeah, and the ones in the outside, they're going to be doing the same thing as well. Hey, you see it right there? They're doing their job. Okay. So let's go inside the vault. You see this Brahmin here? This Dorino Brahmin that came, with the settlement, still alive, still healthy, and there's no way for me to convince this rabbit to go inside there, inside the building like the other ones. So yeah, it's gonna stay here. I don't care. All right, so when it comes to the vault, like I said, things that are not as large and grandiose like the other vaults in the game. But yeah, we got all the things that we need over here. Yeah, like all the things that we got is, people, going between the walls like there were ghosts. So anyway, this the main entrance, as you can see. So we got more shotgun, turrets over here. When we walk on this area, you can see a sign that says no smoking, because from this point on, nobody's allowed to smoke inside the vault. You can buy cigarettes here, and you can smoke it right outside. That's the ashtray right there. Okay. Over here, this is the commissary. So this is where, we got sometimes, some of the securities, guards, watching who's coming in and out. Or like this one, they're supposed to be here, but look, it's kind of merging to the wall. Now, have you noticed that I dressed the guards, like me, like soldiers? The reason for that is because I want them to be well equipped, because these people are the first line of defense, number one. And number two, I don't give them regular guns or weapons. I give them, powerful weapons like rocket launchers, flamethrowers, miniguns, weapons, ghost rifles, weapons of that nature, so that way they can defend themselves better. And the same thing goes for the scavengers. Let me see. I think this guy's a scavenger, the guy that's standing over here. Yeah. You see, the scavengers, they are equipped the same way. Like this guy, he got a I got a problem saying this word, gathering laser. So the scavengers, the only difference, between them and the guards is that they're giving a different helmet. The guards, they use the same helmet that I'm using, the combat helmet or the army helmet. And the scavengers, they use, the pilot helmet. And the reason I did that is because, the logo of the guard is like a crow, a bird, something that flies. So that's why I said, okay, so let me give him, a different helmet, so that way we know the difference between a guard and a guard and a scavenger. Now, the reason I also equipped them this way is because, contrary to everybody else in the settlement, these guys, they walk not only inside the settlement, but they do walk outside the settlement. And when they do that, sometimes there are creatures out there that they are lurking, or even enemies that they're hanging around in the woods, and these guys, they get ambushed by the abominations that live, in the wasteland. So when I provide them these weapons and this kind of, uniforms with armor and everything, they are better protected, and they got a chance, they got a chance to defend themselves, survive, the attacks while they get help. Okay. So let's continue with the tour inside the vault. So you can see, I put signs over here that indicate, and we got all the signs over here that indicate what is what and the things that you're looking for, how to get there. Okay, so over here, this is the cafeteria. As you can see, I got 2 stalls over here. The one of them is manned by the human on daytime, all the way up to, I think, 10 p.m. And the one is supposed to be a robot here, handling things over here for 24 hours. Okay, and the robot is really messy because, normally I got this place over here, this shelf packed with stuff, but a robot walking around is a protectron. He knocked everything out. Now the protectron that I got in charge of this, bar over here looks just like the one in Diamond City. Even got the same color, that canary yellow. So that's the one in charge of this stall over here, but he's walking somewhere out there. So you can see it's a small cafeteria, but we got everything you need. And we saw over here the same type of food that was sold, before the war. Okay, so over here you go. You can see there's like another floor that's below the ground level, but actually this whole vault is above the ground vault, but it's protected by that, complex wall that I built that is made of reinforced concrete surrounding the whole, vault. And the reason I build all the stuff is because, for me, a vault that is above the ground vault without no protection is a useless vault. So just to give some of the protection that you will get of an underground vault, that's why I built the giant wall. Now, technically this vault wasn't meant to be used, and occupied by any tenants, because it was just a concept test vault that was, experimented with before there were, and this is me making stories up. This is not part of the Fallout, canon or anything like that. It's just me making stories up, but just try to give purpose of this vault. It was only for testing, but you know what, there were people working over here doing whatever testing with the vault that we're doing when the bombs drop, and they just close the door and stay there for a few years. Said so the vault, even it wasn't meant to be occupied, it was well equipped, to handle any emergency. I mean, it wasn't built for that reason. It was just built to use as a test experimental vault. Okay, so over here, this is the atrium, as you can see here, and it's equipped with. It's a very small atrium. It's not as giant with different levels and stairs or anything like that. It's just a ground level atrium, but we got two windows because half of the second floor of the whole vault is it belongs to the overseer, and the other half is area for residents. So we got two levels for residents, which is the second and third. As the second and third floor belongs to the residents, and then the floor that is technically a basement. That's where is the reactor room and the other shop that we got on the over here on the settlement. So as you can see, we got weights over here. We got exercise equipment over here. On this side we got stores. And you can see we got some stuff in stock for sale over here. That's the register right there. And if we go over here, this is the mini barber shop and the waiting area of the barber shop. And when you go over here, yeah, we got the general store, and we got some of the merchandise over here in stock. As you can see, everything is for sale over here. Okay, so before we walk to that area, we're gonna go downstairs to this area over here, and you can see the signs indicate how to get to these different locations. The only one that I got double access over here is the atrium, because there's a stair over here and there's another one down there that takes you to the atrium. Okay, so when we walk to this area over here, you can see that we got what this thing is doing here. This thing is supposed to be upstairs. This is brand new clothing for sale. I'll bring it upstairs soon. I don't know, that's the robots playing pranks. So over here you can see I got some of the tools that we need to do proper maintenance, just like the shop upstairs. Okay, and we got all the chemicals and we got all the supplies that we need to keep everything going over here. So this is the desk where the foreman of the shop sits and operates, and he got his own terminal over here. So that's how we handle things on this area over here. And the reactor room, as you can see, we got the 500 units of energy, reactor over here. We got the equipment that we use to operate the reactor. We got some material that we get from the other vaults that they are friendly with us. So we exchange, materials to keep everything going over here. And just like in any other shop, we got, the coffee machine, just like in the maintenance area. And we got a terminal for the foreman of the engineers of the reactor that they work over here. Okay, and yeah, we got also more tools on this area over here. Okay, so let's go to this hallway here, which is kind of like a dead-end hallway because it ends into the only bathroom that we got on this level over here. So you can see it's an exit zone that way and lavatory bathroom that way. And what we got here is the security area, because this is where we secure all the weapons, of the settlement, as you can see. And we sell weapons over here or exchange weapons with the other vault dwellers, and we are well stocked, as you can see here. Now, this is the only store that is only run by humans. We don't have robots, we don't have like a double store with humans and robots, doing business over here. There's only humans running the business over here. And you can see, we got well stocked with, bullets, kinds of armor. We also, sell, power armor over here. That one's a stolen one. And we got over here some of the workbenches that we use to do maintenance or modifications on all the weapons and armor that we provide over here. And we got a TV over here because you know what, these guys over here, selling stuff, they get, bored. So we put some Cooper Howard movies there so they can, watch something and, just the time will go faster, the shift will go faster by watching old movies. So all the bathrooms, they all look alike, pretty much in the settlement. And they are, for anyone who needs it, it doesn't matter if male, female, anything in between. Yeah, they're available for everyone. Okay, and we even got a plunger over here just in case that you ate too much and what you drop, it clogs the toilet. Okay, so now we're gonna go this way, and you can see the signs. It says HM Barber Lavatory. So the lavatory, this is the older bathroom. This is the only bathroom on the first floor, on the ground level. And as you can see, it looks just like the previous bathroom where we were before. Now, when we go this way takes us to the clinic. And look, there's a freaking mop over here. This thing's supposed to be on the bathroom. So I'm just gonna put it inside the bathroom right now. Next to this thing is supposed to be next to together with the broom. Huh? I don't know. There's a lot of people playing pranks over here. So this way is the way that takes you, as you can see by these signs. There's small operations of hydroponics over here where we do some minor farming, and we got this and we got the residential area is going that way. Okay, so over here, this is where we provide healthcare services, and we got protection, providing those services 24 hours, and we got humans doing it on working hours. So this is not the doctor; she's the technician that operates this machine. The doctor sometimes is late, but the doctors and technicians that work here, they got lab coats, and there's supposed to be a surgeon that's supposed to man this surgeon table over here, chair, and this is the area where we tend to the patients. So we got a mini nursery over here. We don't get to serve that many babies here, but we got this area over here for children and toddlers. We got this area for teenagers and adults. Since this is a small operation, over here, we just take care of your emergency over here, and then you have to go back to your apartment and recover in your apartment. Anyway, the place is really small, so the doctor doesn't mind to go and do house calls and take care of you. And you can see some of the drugs, since there's also drugstore at the same time, some of the drugs that we offer and all the things that we offer to, make you well. Okay, so let's get out of here and go to the residential area. So you can see this way is towards the clinic, the exit area, and this one is towards the residential. So this residential area over here on the second level, it's not that big. But it does have 2 bathrooms over here because there's more people living here. And as you can see, this is Connie Abernathy. She's the one that's supposed to be running the armor shop. Here, this is studio apartment. Over here, we got also 1-bedroom apartments, like this one. Oh no, this is the other bathroom. This one is 1-bedroom apartment, but each apartment, as minimum, is gonna have 2 beds. Now the studios and the 1-bedroom apartments, pretty much they got the same amenities, except that the 1-bedroom apartment got stereo, a powerful stereo, and the studios only got the radio. But when it comes to all the other decorations, pretty much everybody enjoy the same luxury. Okay, and when we go over here, you can see another studio apartment. And yeah, we went to the studio apartment already. Okay, now going this way, that's when you're going towards the hydroponics. So we got 2 small areas with wide hallways, and we build small hydroponics complex there. So when we go over here, we got more apartments. Now, these ones are larger studio apartments. Now, these ones where we got a lot of people living here is the people that got they got, the how I can say, we got different tiers, according to how important is the job that you do. The doctors are the ones that are going to have the one bedroom apartment, the medical personnel. But everybody else, sleep in this kind of rooms. Like the people that they are, like, let's say you got the foreman, get also one bedroom apartment. But these areas would be more like for the employees, the people that, are in the lowest tier on the society over here. But nevertheless, even if they got less privacy, as there's more people together, they still enjoy some of the same luxuries like everybody else. Okay. Now, over here you can see I got another apartment, and I think here's the only other one bedroom apartment that we got in this residential area. Like I said, the bathrooms are shared bathrooms. Now, we got two areas like this, and the reason I build them like this is because behind this wall is the top roof of the atrium. So I couldn't, build anything significant over here. So that's why I built this, wide, hallway, and turn it into hydroponics like you see here. Okay, the crops that we got on the other side are a little bit different from this ones. Now we got apartments over here, but this one's the smallest apartments we offer, and they don't have a large living room area. But we use this area for the lowest tier of the people that they work in the settlement, and this one, that's why we got 4 beds over here instead of 2. Now in this area here, this hallway only leads you to the largest bathroom in this floor. And this bathroom is, of course, there's less privacy. There's more people doing their business together. There's no way I got no stalls to cover anything here. Basically, everybody's looking at each other doing their business, but hey, what we can do. And this is one of the other medical technicians. She's the surgeon. Okay, so we follow the signs. This is another small apartment. And when we go over here, these are the other crops that we got here. And this is one of the robots that run the crops over here. Pretty much all the robots, all the Mr. Handys, they got, farming responsibilities. And this lady, she's the doctor. Okay, I don't know, maybe she came over here to do some, pick some, what's the name, medicinal plants, to do her medicines and stuff like that. Okay, so let's get out of here and let's go to the overseer office, which is in the second floor in the other side of the settlement. So as you can see, this is one of the stairs that takes you technically takes you to the basement, and this one takes you to the overseer. So half of the second floor belongs to the overseer. So as you can see, the overseer lives in total and complete luxury over here. And he got, this large reception area, and we got, some refreshments for the people that they come to visit the overseer. And when we got this area, we got, like a soda fountain machine, a coffee machine, and here this is the bathroom for the visitors. Okay. When we go to this side over here, you can see overseer got a big stereo. We got here, the receptionist, desk. And when we walk over here, this is the overseer's office. And you can see he got these robots over here because he's a fan of robots. So he's into, a scale model, robots. And yeah, we got the classic overseer window. And you can see that other window on the other side, that's the overseer's power armor, because that area over there, that's the overseer's, bedroom. Okay. So we walk over here, and over here, as you can see, he got his coffee machine, and he got his espresso machine, and this is the overseer's office bathroom. Okay. When we walk to this other area over here, this is the overseer's game room. As you can see, he got his own pool table over here. He got some games over here, table games. And we got the Nitsy tubes that you know, when you play the games, you want to find out who's winning. So we keep score with this Nipsey tools over here. And here, as you can see, we got the dining table over here, but we use also to play the board games over here. And we got a mini bar over here where all the liquor that used to be here got stolen because supposed to be this thing was supposed to be packed with liquor. Yeah, I think the scavengers they are hanging around over here and taking stuff with them. That sucks. So when we come over here, yeah, we this is the overseer's bedroom. And yeah, he got, all the amenities and luxuries that is expected for the overseer to have. In my opinion, even this vault is not the largest vault. I think the overseer area is the largest overseer area in all the vaults in the Commonwealth right now. So yeah, it's our proportion, the overseer area to, the size of the vault. Okay, you can see overseer got a spare, people here. He got his own, another terminal, Baltic Population Management Terminal. And yeah, he got, a safe over here, a scale. Sometimes he get dogs to hang out over here, so he always, got food for them. And this is the overseer's, personal, bathroom. Okay. So, yeah, let's get out of this area because now we're going to the final part of the whole video. And I'm sorry that this video is so long, but the freaking settlement is so large and you got so much stuff that yeah, it takes time to go all over the place over here. Okay, so yeah, these robots that are supposed to be inside the building doing farming, I don't know what's going on with them. That sometimes they come over here to this, the square. There's like a mini square, this area over here, of the whole property. Okay, it's the workshop. So we're gonna get inside the building through the elevator. So let's call the elevator here. Okay, and from here, you want to head to the first floor of the building. Okay, so for me to reach this area here, I needed a four level, elevator. So as you can see, guys, right here, this is the area where we handle livestock. So I just keep capturing, Brahmin. And we put these areas over here to separate them and stuff like that. And yeah, this is where we take care of the Brahmin, for milk, meat, and fertilizer. And yeah, the main reason we put it on this level is because from here we can transport the fertilizer to the pots over there and fertilize, all the plants that we got here. Okay, so you can see the elevators, they continue over here and they are interconnected one with the other all the way until you go to the top floor. Okay, now so if you see this thing that I built here, I'm gonna make another video about this, but you see that I got all the strings together. This is what I use to build beyond the build limit of the settlement. So what you do is you put all kinds of cables, crisscrossing from each one pole to the other until you cannot put no more. And then you can start storing the cables, and the cables, every time you store a cable, you have to first pick what you want to build. You want to build, let's say I'm going to build a lot of those windows like the ones that you see right here. And I won't be on, the build limit. Every time I store, I select the windows on, the workshop menu, and then every time I store any of these cables, a window is gonna come out because the window is gonna replace the cable that is being stored. Okay, and that's the way I build. This whole settlement. As soon as I went beyond, the build limit, that's how I managed to build everything else, and it's easier than the other method that people use, that they throw a lot of stuff into the floor and they start recycling it or scrapping it or whatever. That method sucks. This one's way better. And the thing is that this thing you can pick it up. Like right now you can pick this thing up. I mean, you cannot have it interconnected like this. It have to be like empty with no cables. But they say I'm gonna build stuff on that area over there, so I pick this thing up and I bring it with me over there, and then I continue building all the stuff that I need over there. When I'm done there, then I bring this thing over in the other side, and I can even start this thing in the outside of the building if I need to build stuff outside of the building. It would stick to because this is a floor, so it would stick with these floors over here on the edge. So that's the nice thing about this. Okay, so here, every level over here is gonna have, it's gonna have an outhouse. It's gonna have, garbage can, a sink, and water fountain. Now, as you can see, we got signs over here. It's important for people to keep themselves, clean and healthy, and also smoking, at least on this level, is forbidden because this area we got, methane gas produced by the cows, and you might get explosion. And these are not regular cows; these Brahmins, so they are more flammable. Okay. So let's go over here to the next floor. As you can see, this whole floor is potatoes. And look, finally, a freaking Mr. Handy doing their job. So I need to build more robots. I mean, I got too much crops and not enough robots, to take care of them. So I need to build more. It's just that I always running out of circuits or glue, which is essential to build the robots. And then I need to collect more circuit and make more glue. So that's why I don't have this thing packed with, Mr. Handy's, doing their job. And I understand when you build too many robots, they bring down the happiness. I don't care about that. As long as I don't get to a point that I'm going to lose the settlement, I don't care about the happiness, because I know deep inside, the people that live here, they are very happy to live the way they live, and they are very proud of the settlement. So you can see the same layout over here. Now over here you can smoke. There's no issues over here. Or in any other level you want to smoke. But we've hardly got any humans, running this place over here, because we don't got humans doing farming duties. All the humans that are doing all the stuff. Okay, so we coming over here, and this is the level where we take care of, carrots over here, and here we got mud fruit. Okay. You guys gonna notice that I got these, red chairs on each level next to the stairs, and that's for people to rest. If they need to use the stairs instead of the elevators, they say issues with the elevators not working, and need to use the stairs, they can, if they get tired, they can rest over there and catch some air before they continue, walking whatever they're going to. Okay, now one thing that I want to explain about this, building around, this freaking, power line pylon. As you can see, the floor on each level, it got, like different real estate. Some floors they got, I managed to, put more flooring area than others. And on this side, in the case of this side, as you can see, it's the last floor that I can walk from one side to the other on this particular side of the building, because on the other side I got no problems. But any other floors, when you keep going up, you lose the ability, because there's like an invisible force field. As a matter of fact, let me show you. I cannot walk over here, even if I put floors over here. It's due to the arms of this tower. So you cannot build something really close, to the tower over here. And even if you manage to build stuff, they don't let you walk in there. So I mean, it sucks, that. Okay. So let's go to the next floor. So this floor here is completely razor grain, as you can see. Whole wheat. Basically, it's like a future version of the whole wheat. And like I mentioned before, the only way you can walk to this side is to the other side of the building is through this walkway over here, because over there you're not going to build it. Okay, now this time I'm going to use the elevator, not this one. I have to use this one to take me to the next floor. And this next floor is floor number 5. This whole building is only 5 floors. It reached the maximum height that you can build here, but the floors, they are like, you can see they got high ceiling. So that's why, the building doesn't have that many floors. But if this building had the floors at this level over here, do you see this mark over here? And then the building would be a 12-story building. I know you can build a way up to 20 stories, but just remember this building is elevated above the ground with columns. So there's like 4 extra floors down there. Now remember, these floors, they are higher. If I was using the normal, concrete walls, then probably you will go over 20 stories, with this building. Okay, so you see I managed to build this floor over here, but I cannot walk in here. The farthest I can go is here. And this like invisible field over here too, because I couldn't, complete, putting the windows over here. Okay. So now we're going to the top floor. And the whole top floor over here, I forgot to mention over here is watermelon and gourd. The crops that we got here is all watermelon and gourd. And here, the last floor of the building, as you can see, I got double roof. I got the glass roof, and on top of that, I got the, the concrete, grill type of roof. And here, as you can see, is all corn. But guess what? We built a picnic area over here because this is the highest floor. So it's kind of like an observatory. So you can see, the helipad. You can see the flashing lights to warn aircraft and the red lights. And this building got the same thing as well. And as you can see, I got this picnic area. And I don't know if you guys take a close look to this. Just let me know what you guys. Where this idea came from, having this corn with these picnic tables and these barns over here and these stringy lights. This thing came from the Fallout show. Fallout show, the vault dwellers of Vault 33, they live. They got this picnic area right next to their crops, okay? And they have, the stringy lights. They are longer than this ones. And they got, that projector that projects, like a 3D image of a barn. And the projector, makes the image in the background change with time. So it starts, daytime and then it goes to sunset and to night. So yeah, this is pretty much, like a back copy of that. But serve the same purpose, So, that's why I built it, because of that, okay? So, before I end the video, I'm just going to walk outside so you guys can see how the settlement looks at night, okay? It's because when we started the video, it was daytime, but it was raining. But I want you guys to see how it looks outside, because it looks really cool. Now, I don't have no neon lights or any of that stuff other than the open lights. Oh, I almost go too far. I'm going to take the sky bridge to get out of here. Okay, so, I got something in the middle. Oh, the duck. So you can appreciate how the building looks like, and you can see I got those, red lights over there. And you see I got an antenna all the way over there, which is functional. It's working. That's the antenna that you use to bring, people to move into, that's the antenna, the beacon that you have to, bring people into the settlement, to move in. And it's powered. You got, and you can see, the windows of the building light up, where all the lights. I was thinking about putting, office lights in there so the building will look more like what it looks like, which is an office building that it was reused, repurposed to be a giant greenhouse. But I said, no, I'm just going to use the regular light bulbs in there. Now, you see this area over here, with the soldiers, normally they walk. We tried to keep it dark. I didn't put any lights over here because, you know what? The only area that is supposed to be illuminated is the perimeters, and that way we want the enemies not to be able to see the guards, walking around, so that's why I never put any lights around here. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump off the wall over here, and you can take a look at how the building looks like from this angle over here. And you can see the building is not perfectly symmetrical. Like you see the side of the building over here, it got double columns put together, supporting the building all the way up to the top and the floors. Now, when we go to this side over here, you see that it looks different. So we got 2 columns too, but they are separate. And this area is wider, you see? And we got the other entrance over here with the, the open lights over here. I mean the neon lights. And you can see, the platform, helipad, also with a flashlight. So hey man, it looks really freaking cool, this thing over here. I gotta check the traps just to see if there's anything, that got caught over there or not. I think there's nothing there. I know they're still working. I know these traps, we get attacked, they can get damaged and stuff, but I mean, you want to trap animals, outside the settlement, you have to put the traps in the outside. Okay, so no, I got nothing. Well, hey guys, so this is the end of the video. I'm glad that you guys stopped by to, take a look at my settlement. My Abernathy Farm settlement. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Bye.